On the broadcast tonight, cliff diving, how the fiscal cliff affects Elon.
McGo is McGone. We have the latest on Elon's dining changes.
The weather outside is far from frightful. Find out why some local kids are making snowflakes for Sandy Hook.
How about real snow? Is that in our future? Joe Bruno joins us later with the forecast.
Welcome back, Elon. I'm Brittany McDavid.
And I'm Nicole Bloom. The first Elon local news of winter term starts right now.
We begin tonight with breaking news. Thanks for joining us.
An Elon graduate and former Phoenix 14 news reporter's request for information from the Elon Police Department in 2010 led him to sue both Elon University and North Carolina Attorney General Roy Cooper, and he now has a new court date. The North Carolina Supreme Court will hear all arguments on Nick Oxner's case on February 13th. In March of 2010, Oxner requested a complete incident report from the Elon campus police regarding an arrest of a fellow student. After the police refused to give him the narrative portion of the report, Oxner filed his lawsuits. Oxner spoke with Elon Local News and said that though he is not required to attend, he hopes that he can return for his court date. Oxner currently works for KMAC 28 News in Lubbock, Texas. And sticking with court news, Alexis Gray was scheduled to make her first appearance in Alamance County Court today. Gray did not appear in court today, however. Her lawyer did and received her a new court date. Gray was charged in December with a felony possession of a firearm on school grounds. Stick with us as we continue to cover this case.
While the Alexis Gray situation was the big topic talked about on campus before break, another story discussed during break was the fiscal cliff. The term fiscal cliff was coined last year and has become familiar to most Americans. Students may be aware of how it will affect their parents and the economy, but our Meredith Kelly and Carly Hilliard investigated how the consequences of the fiscal cliff may also affect Elon University.
The fiscal cliff would have caused more than a $500,000 tax increase and across-the-board spending cuts for fiscal year 2013. President Obama and Congress were able to compromise, averting the fiscal cliff that would have taken effect January 1st. The White House and Senate came to an agreement that allows tax rates to rise only for the top 1% of Americans and temporarily suspends across-the-board spending cuts. The House then passed the bill. Because North Carolina has a zero corporate income tax, the NC legislature is looking for ways to make up for reduced tax revenue. This may mean that Elon will have to pay an additional $3.5 million in property taxes next year. Elon faculty and staff will see Social Security taxes increase by 2 percentage points, from 4.2% to 6.2%. Spending cuts will cause increased difficulties for families to afford college. The ability to rely on student aid will be reduced. For ELN, I'm Meredith.
We'll continue this segment on the fiscal cliff next week as we talk to Elon students and staff about their perceptions of the fiscal cliff and their opinions on the agreement that Congress made.
Another major headline over break was the Sandy Hook tragedy. The shootings at the elementary school nearly a month ago left families devastated, the nation shaken. But in recent weeks, an outpouring of acts of kindness have been taking place. I found out how a neighboring town is lending their support. It's an activity children do every winter, but on Saturday afternoon, these children were designing snowflakes for a cause.
We're going to send them to the kids in Connecticut, to the Sandy Hook Elementary School.
The children should walk into a winter wonderland. They just wanted it just completely covered in beautiful snowflakes. The idea that each snowflake is different from one another, there are no two alike, just like our children, just like ourselves.
The kids were thrilled to be making snowflakes.
Wow, that's the snowflake that you made?
Mm-hmm.
And I even learned a few things about making snowflakes too.
We folded a lot and we cut these shapes. Then we opened it and then we colored on it.
The children that came today are also writing notes to the families in Connecticut. So we're going to be binding those into a book along with some of the photographs of children making snowflakes here in some of our public displays. And then rather than sending a huge box of snowflakes, we're going to send a slim volume that just lets them know how much we're thinking about them.
After making her snowflakes, 5-year-old Alexa predicted how she thought the students would feel.
Happy?
Event organizer Susan Holland said tables of children rotated in and out all afternoon on Saturday to show their support and express a little creativity. Nicole Bloom, Elon Local News. Sandy Hook students entered a winter wonderland when they returned to school last week. The package from Graham will soon be arriving in Newtown, Connecticut to add to the snowflakes made with love.
The former Charlotte mayor has officially become North Carolina's 74th governor. Pat McCrory was sworn into office Saturday afternoon in Raleigh. His wife Ann stood by his side as State Supreme Court Chief Justice Sarah Parker administered the oath of office during the private ceremony. McCrory is the state's first Republican governor in 20 years. Now that was his private ceremony. Governor McCrory is set to have the public inauguration ceremony this Saturday.
It's one of several events for the governor that are happening this week. Here's a look at Governor McCrory's schedule. On Tuesday, there is the Piedmont Open House with Governor McCrory at 11 a.m. The event will be held in the Empire Room in Greensboro. Thursday is the Rock the Ball concert with Big Daddy Love performing at 9 p.m. in Raleigh at the Lincoln Center. And on Friday is the Governor's Reception Gala and Inaugural Ball featuring the Avid Brothers. That starts at 6 p.m. in the Raleigh Convention Center.
Saturday is a well-packed day as well. It starts with the inaugural address in Capitol Square at 11 a.m. and is followed by the inaugural parade at 12:30 p.m. in downtown Raleigh. There's a tour of the governor's mansion at 1:30 that same day. To wrap up the festivities, there is a final inaugural celebration at 8:30 p.m. at the Raleigh Convention Center. Follow us on Twitter at Elon Local News for live coverage of these events.
And as Governor McCrory begins his new job, his former gubernatorial opponent, Walter Dalton, is preparing to start a new job as well. The former lieutenant governor is set to begin teaching a class on Southern politics at Gardner-Webb University in Boiling Springs, North Carolina. Dalton will also serve as special counsel to the president of Gardner-Webb, Frank Bonner.
ELN has learned that the founder of the Interfaith Youth Corps, Ibu Patel, is not the only person scheduled to speak at this year's Convocation for Honors.
In honor of the opening of the Newman Lumen Pavilion, 5 other religious and spiritual leaders will join Patel on a panel. Here they are. David Wolpe is a rabbi at the Sinai Temple in Los Angeles. He will be speaking on Judaism. Arjia Rinpoche is a Tibetan high monk who works at the Tibetan Mongolian Buddhist Center in Bloomington, Indiana, who will be speaking about Buddhism. Greg Epstein is the secular chaplain at Harvard and will speak from a secular humanist point of view.
Sharon Kugler works as the university chaplain at Yale and is a Roman Catholic. And finally, Michael Curry is the Episcopal Bishop of North Carolina and is a Protestant. Spring Convocation will be held on April 30th at 3:30 p.m. Classes will end early and admission is free to all Elon students. But before Convocation takes place, some students will choose to go through Greek recruitment. But this year, Women's Bid Day falls on another big day, Super Bowl Sunday. Though the Super Bowl is watched by millions, Director of Greek Life, Shayna Plasters, says that she has not received negative feedback about the scheduling of the bid day.
We have always done women's recruitment has ended up the Sunday before classes start the following Tuesday for a number of years now, and so it's really just how the schedule fell this year with the later start to our winter term courses and the longer winter term break. It just ended up that women's recruitment ended on what happened to be Super Bowl Sunday.
If you have passed by Mosley Center recently, it would have been tough for you to miss that large white tent. There is no party going on in there, but there is repair work. Boney Fountain is being re-bricked, sealed, and newly painted. The mortar, sealant, and paint are all impacted by the temperature, requiring the heated tent. According to University Communications Vice President Dan Anderson, there will also be new sprinkler heads to change the look. Several Carolina girls came back from winter turn to refrigerators that might not need repairs, but they definitely need to be cleaned. The residents returned to mold. The girls suspect residence life is to blame for their unwelcomed gift. The Carolina residents say that students were told to not unplug their fridges before leaving, but when they returned, they found their fridges unplugged and moldy.
We're not gonna unplug our freezer, fridge, obviously, and I think we're gonna talk to our RA about it and see if she'll make sure that it doesn't get unplugged either.
ELN spoke with the Assistant Director of Residence Life, Lexi Kammerman. She said that RAs are not supposed to unplug refrigerators during room inspections, but that no complaints have been filed.
With the new semester, new changes are coming to Elon Dining. The popular pasta, salad, and wrap venue, Pangio's, has closed. It will now be open for lunch on the weekdays in the location of Mago. This means that Mago, as we know it, is Magon. But don't worry, chicken strips fans, these favorites will now be available at Varsity Sports Grill. According to Elon Dining, Pangio's pasta will also be available in McEwen Dining Hall for dinner during the week. If you have leftover to-go coins, they are still usable at both McEwen and Colonnades Dining Hall.
Now, Mago may be gone, but the Lakeside Dining Hall is nearing completion. Elon Dining released the hours for the new dining hall. It will be open for lunch and dinner Monday through Thursday, but only for lunch on Fridays. But the new Winter Garden Cafe will be open when you wake up. It will be open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday and 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. on the weekend. We spoke with the marketing manager of Elon Dining, Kate Nelson, to find out why there is no breakfast in the Lakeside Dining Hall.
And this year we started offering breakfast and brunch and dinner over at McEwen, which was currently not offered. So in an effort to keep that building open through the spring term for those expanded hours, we're going to keep that open. We're going to keep Colonnades at the same hours. And then once summer comes and some of the new Global Village housing comes online, we'll reevaluate the hours for Lakeside Dining Hall.
The holiday season just wrapped up. How did local stores in the Holly Hill Mall do? Janae Frazier tells us next.
And check this out. Later in the show, we will have a story about some cute dogs that won't make your day gray.
And it was a big weekend for the Phoenix. Justin Beagle will have the highlights later in the show.
Welcome back. First, a question that I'm sure is on your mind. Are we getting any snow anytime soon? Well, take a look at this. It's some snow, but as you might have guessed, this snow was not at Elon. It was in El Paso last Thursday. So I'm sorry to tease you. No snow is in Elon's future just yet, but today was beautiful. Currently, we are sitting at 41 degrees. We hit a high of 49 degrees earlier. We hit a low of 26 degrees around 6 a.m. earlier today. Hopefully you aren't too overworked yet that you had to experience that. There's a lot of time left in the semester, guys. Finally, let's take a look at your 5-day forecast. It is going to be a very nice week. Elon baseball and softball are going to have some great weather to practice outside in. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are all going to be in the 60s. You might see a little shower Friday in the early morning, but it won't be too much of a damper. And lastly, if you are heading to the gubernatorial inauguration festivities, you might want to leave the winter jacket at home. High 71 that day. Should be around 65 degrees as Governor McCrory makes his address.
Fears of falling off the fiscal cliff were expected to hurt holiday sales, but locally, that was not the case. Reporter Janae Frazier is in the studio with more. Janae?
The management at Holly Hill Mall in Burlington tells me that sales are better than recent years this holiday season, which it was not expecting.
Samantha Story works at Fashion Express in Holly Hill Mall, and she says she was very surprised by the holiday turnout.
Super busy all the time. Like the entire store was constantly full of people.
The same was true at other stores.
This year we really ran through those numbers. almost double the numbers, to be honest with you. So the parking lot was full every night.
The sales have been good in January too. I mean, things have been good, and with tax season coming up, things will be good.
Holly Hill Mall management says the success is due to many new stores brought to the mall by new ownership. In just 3 years, the number of stores has nearly tripled.
Holly Hill Mall hasn't been this way probably in the past 10, 12 years. I've been here my whole life in Burlington. It's really good to see people come out to the Holly Hill Mall again.
The International Council of Shopping Centers says that nationally, overall revenue for November and December rose more than 3% from last year, and many Holly Hill Mall customers say the economy was not a factor in their holiday spending.
For me, that it's not so much what's going on in the news that pretty much dictates how I'm going to spend. It's pretty much what my salary is and what I plan to do.
I just hope people that they do have the extra money, they should try to still maintain some sort of posture to support the local stores and things like that, because this is what really keeps our finances going and everything.
The mall also offered Santa Claus photos and sold Christmas trees outside the mall. Management believes both of those efforts helped to boost traffic and sales. Live in the studio, I'm Janae Frazier.
With so many students abroad this winter term, you may be thinking ahead to your own adventures overseas. College students are on tight budgets to begin with, and studying abroad can do some serious damage to your bank account. Katie Marigee has some quick ways to cut back when living and learning in another country.
Thanks, guys. While living and spending abroad, bank fees can really eat into your budget. Banks and credit card companies often charge a percentage for every overseas ATM withdrawal. Bank of America, Citibank, and Wells Fargo all charge 3% on withdrawals, and American Express charges 2.7%. Some cards, like a Capital One credit card, don't have any overseas withdrawal charges at all. Consider finding an option with lower or no ATM costs to keep a little extra money in your pocket. While you'll no doubt want to sample the local cuisine, it's part of the culture, avoid eating out too often. If you do go out, most restaurants offer discounted lunch specials on their normal menu. For example, some European countries have featured plate of the day options that you can get at half price. Now, water is essential when exploring new cities, but can also be expensive in tourist destinations. Be careful. You don't want to be buying up bottled water every day. It'll add up and it'll hurt you. Get a metal water bottle or reuse your plastic ones from earlier. You can refill in some restaurants, tourist attractions, and water fountains. Now, as you tour the cities while abroad, many popular destinations have entry fees. City tourism cards can help. They can help you save by offering free admission into some main attractions, discount at certain restaurants, and sometimes free public transportation. You can get these passes at the local tourism office. Good luck planning your adventures abroad, and bon voyage.
More than 70% of Elon students study abroad during their 4 years. But imagine going abroad before life at Elon even starts. With the new Gap Semester program, a select group of Elon freshmen did just that. Our John Malloy has more.
The Gap Semester program is a brand new program that we're offering as an innovative pathway to education. And it's for a student who maybe doesn't want to jump right into the classroom environment their first semester.
The group of 15 freshmen started their first semester building upon their leadership skills with 3 weeks at the National Outdoor Leadership School in Wyoming. The next 4 weeks were spent doing week-long service projects in various states, including Kentucky and Missouri. The semester wrapped up with 6 weeks at the Elon Center in Costa Rica.
It's something that, like, every second you're on it, you're like, I cannot believe I'm doing this. Our favorite saying while doing it was, we're in college right now, as we're hiking in Costa Rica on the beach. Like, it was definitely the most insane thing I've ever done.
This school year marks the first year Elon has offered the Gap Semester program, but it certainly won't be the last.
I feel like I grew so much as a person in just the short 3 months that I did it, and I experienced things that most people never experience in their life and they don't get to see, and I think that's something really special.
This winter term, the 15 Gap students are enrolled in a winter term course as well as Elon 101, and they're now starting to begin their transition into life as a traditional Elon student.
I don't think think I've missed out on anything on campus, really. I feel like what we got out of this program is just so amazing, and we're all so lucky to have had such an experience like that.
It's just a chance to learn new things in a different way.
John Malloy, Elon Local News.
Next, after the break, Greyhounds are known for racing. So what are they doing nearby? I took a trip to Greyhound and Friends.
You didn't miss any Greyhounds in Alumni Gym on Saturday, but you did miss the Phoenix take on the Tigers and Bulldogs. Highlights later in the show. Campus might seem a little slow during winter term, and you may be wondering what there is to do off campus. Our Carissa parent has found one option not too far away from Elon.
For students looking to put away the video games but still take part in the action, Burlington now offers an alternative. Elon University technician Wayne Thompson is a co-owner of Airsoft R Us, a local business that caters to airsoft players.
Airsoft is a very good way, a very good outlet, a very good process to practice your honor, practice your target shooting, and to do it in a safe manner.
Thompson originally saw airsoft as a fun opportunity for people on a budget.
I know paintball is extremely expensive.
Airsoft R Us also hosts bi-weekly battles for interested members of the community. But before all the games begin, you must have the proper safety equipment.
Safety is first for us at all of our games. We focus on full face masks, full seal goggles.
Thompson believes that airsoft guns are less dangerous than traditional BB guns.
It's not like BB guns where they're metal BBs and they can go into your skin and all that stuff. It seemed a lot safer. And
Thompson hopes that his new business will attract Elon students and community members who are interested in a safe, controlled combat environment. Carissa Parent, Elon Local News.
Whether looking to adopt or to spend an afternoon with a lovable friend, I visited a place nearby where both are possible.
Families across America are adopting dogs, but one species that is often overlooked is the greyhound.
Many people associate greyhounds with the racetrack, but their gentle, affectionate nature make for a perfect pet.
Greyhound Friends of North Carolina is a nonprofit organization that provides homes to greyhounds retired from racing. The average age a greyhound retires is between 2 and 4 years, and with the majority of their life left, the question becomes, what's next? 10 years ago, it would have been common for the greyhound to be euthanized, but the recent growth of rescue kennels like this one have allowed greyhounds to transition from the track into the home. Wayne Lambert has been managing the kennel for 4 years and has seen close to 2,000 greyhounds adopted.
We're definitely a no-kill shelter. Everybody gets a home. If it takes a day or if it takes a year, everybody gets a home.
Nancy and Bill Willatica are greyhound owners and frequently volunteer at the kennel.
They're easy to fall in love with. They're very sweet dogs, and they come to you right away.
Although greyhounds can reach speeds of up to 40 miles per hour, they're actually very calm animals.
They sleep a lot, and they're basically big couch potatoes.
Basically, they just want to be with you and be petted and loved.
Brittany McDavid, Elon Local News.
Greyhound Friends of North Carolina welcomes volunteers and is open 7 days a week.
Almost time for sports, ladies and gentlemen. I'll have the highlights from last weekend's game after the break. Welcome back to Elon Local News. I'm Justin Beagle with your sports update. It was a wild weekend at Alumni Gym as both the men's and women's basketball teams took to the court in a doubleheader matchup Saturday afternoon. Let's get started with the first matchup of the day when the men's team took on the Princeton Tigers. The boys came out ready to play in front of a crowd of nearly 1,600 fans. Junior Riley Beaumont got things started off early with this three-point shot. He would finish the game with 11 points. A few short minutes later, teammate Tanner Sampson takes a shot from downtown and sinks it. But the highlight of the day came from junior guard Sebastian Koch, here beating one man, driving down the lane, and finishing with a monster dunk. Definitely worthy of a SportsCenter Top 10 nomination. Soon after, Lucas Troutman gets a near dunk off a pick and roll, assisted from Austin Hamilton. However, offense was not the problem in this game for the Phoenix. Elon allowed Princeton forward Will Barrett to shoot 7 3-point shots, making 5 of them. With just under 6 minutes to play and only down by 8, Elon's own Jack Eisenberger led the Phoenix on a strong offensive run, here taking the ball from coast to coast and finishing with a strong layup. But the Princeton offense could not be stopped, and the Phoenix fell to the Tigers by a final score of 64-74. After the game, Coach Matheny discussed the long-term goals for his team.
I'm not at all discouraged with our team. We have a long way to go, plenty of room for improvement. But I like our fight, and we gotta get off the mat and get better.
30 minutes later, the Lady Phoenix took the court to face off against the Sanford Bulldogs, the same team that eliminated them from the Southern Conference Tournament last year. Before the game started, senior Kelsey Evans, right there on the end, was honored for breaking the 1,000 career point mark, which she did December 1st against the College of Charleston. She had the game's first points here, scoring in a hard-fought layup against Sanford's Reese Taylor. Evans fell just short of a double-double. Forward Kelsey Harris put on quite a show for the fans as well, racking up 15 points, including this layup and foul on a fast break. Harris was back at it again just before the half, going around another defender for the easy layup. But the player of the game was none other than point guard Allie Ford, who finished the game with 11 points, including 3 3-point shots, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals. The defense was relentless and did not let up at all the entire game, forcing 26 turnovers by the Bulldogs. Your final score at Alumni Gym, Elon 65, Sanford 41. After the game, Kelsey Evans discussed her achievement in getting revenge on the Bulldogs.
The award, it could be just as much given to my teammates as it is to me, because I mean, I can't pass the ball to myself. So they were as much a part of that as I was. And having the community come together and, you know, giving them a good show today, it was really great.
Thanks, Justin. That's all the time we have for you, ladies and gentlemen. For continuing coverage, you can go to elonlocalnews.com.
You can also like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Stay with us throughout the weekend for live coverage of the inauguration.
From all of us here at Elon Local News, I'm Brenna McDavid.
I'm Nicole Bloom. Have a good weekend.
Have a great week, Elon. All right.